God's own place is a phrase meaning an area, region or place supposedly favored by God, that was first used to describe the Wicklow Mountains in Ireland. 1. It has subsequently been used to refer to the county of Yorkshire, England, and also England itself. Another reference is to Kerala, too, an Indian state. It is so called because of its lush greenery and breathtaking sceneries. These Puranic accounts portray Kerala as God's own country or the land favored by God. The reference of God's own country to Kerala can also be traced to the event known as Thripada name by the then ruler Martandavarma, Maharaja of Travancore, whereby in 1749–50, the Maharaja decided to donate his realm to Sri Padmanabha, Lord Vishnu, and thereafter rule as the deity's vicegerent, Sri Padmanabha Dasa. Kerala is gifted with one of the most diverse and exotic flora and fauna in the world. It is wedged between the Lakshadweep Sea and the Western Ghats. Western Ghats is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is one of the 8 hottest hotspots of biological diversity in the world. It is sometimes called the Great Escarpment of India. 14. It contains a large proportion of the country's flora and fauna. Many of which are only found in India and nowhere else in the world. The major occupation in Kuttanadu is farming, with rice the most important agricultural product. This activity gives the area its moniker of the Rice Bowl of Kerala. 3 crops are grown every year now instead of the traditional practice of 2 crops per year. Large farming areas near Vembanade Lake were reclaimed from the lake. The history of paddy cultivation in Kuttanad can be traced back centuries. The evolution of paddy cultivation correlated with technological advancement and changes in the regulatory framework that existed during the 19th and 20th centuries. In earlier times, reclamation was carried out mainly from the shallow part of the Vembanade Lake or from the periphery of the Pamba River. These reclamations constituted small areas of paddy fields called padaskrams. Bailing out of water from the fields were done manually using water wheels called chakram. Gradually the manual method used for bailing out of water gave way to steam engines. There were robberies in Kuttanad in earlier days, which were prohibited by the Travancore Maharaja Mualim Tirunal. 3 distinct stages can be identified in the reclamation of kale lands from the lake. The first stage was carried out by private entrepreneurs without any financial support from the government. The patent proclamation made by the Travancore Kingdom in 1865 gave a great fillip to reclamation activities between 1865 and 1888. During this period, the watering of the polders was done manually using chakram, which restricted large-scale reclamation. Only about 250 hectares of land were reclaimed during this period. Vinajur Kale and Matil Kale were reclaimed during this period and are considered the first Kale Nilams to be reclaimed from the Vembanade Lake. 3. These pioneering reclamation activities in kale cultivation were made by the two brothers Mathilu Kapilitraname and Uziflu Kapilitraname from Kuttanadu village in Kuttanadu. 4. The second phase started during 1888. One of the reclamation during this period was undertaken by Chalayila Ravi Kesavapanika. He chose to reclaim Vembanade Kale from the mouth of the Chinamkari River as it joins with the backwaters.